We are in the post-budget portion of session between now and the end of June, and one of the hallmarks of the post-budget part of session in the even-numbered year is Republican bills getting put on the kill list in committees. So if I submit a bill, could be the greatest idea in the world, most of my bills are, in January of 2017, by rules of the Assembly, it has to be taken up by the appropriate committee or committees sometime during the 2-year term. So those bills that may have been introduced, 14, 15, 16 months ago at the beginning of this 2-year term are now starting to come to the committees, but they're not really getting any consideration. When you're in a committee meeting, which I was in several times this week, a group of Republican bills will be on the agenda and they will be put on the kill list, or officially they'll be voted on to hold the bills. And there'll be very little debate unless a member in the minority, on the Republican side, pushes the issue. But sometimes there can be 10 bills on the bill list, and on the kill list. And the only reason these bills are being killed is because the person who introduced them has an R next to his or her name. Complete partisanship. For years now, I've been the champion of a couple of ideas, which are the ideas of my colleagues. Assemblyman Mark Johns came up with the idea for the SOLE Act, single opportunity for legislative equality. And what that says is every 2-year term, every member who's duly elected and by the same number of constituents as everyone else in this House gets to have a bill voted on by the entire Assembly. That would bypass the committee. So you pick one bill, whatever you think is the most important bill, and it gets to the Assembly floor, and it can get an up or down vote by the full chamber. It makes total sense. It gives every member the opportunity to put forth his ideas. It also keeps the constituents knowledgeable about their member, because sometimes a member will not want to have to vote on a bill. And this process of killing Republican bills keeps a member from having to be on the record for or against a bill. So it's good for democracy to allow that. The other idea is championed by my former colleague, Assemblyman Jim Tedisco, who is now a member of the Senate, and his idea was the Spirit of 76 Act. And to pass anything in this chamber, you have to get 76 votes. So this simple idea is if you have 76 co-sponsors of your legislation, meaning so many people, enough people have signed on to your bill as a co-sponsor that it's enough people to pass the bill, it should at least be voted on by the entire body and given a chance in the light of day on television to get an up or down vote. That would be a game changer here, be good for democracy. It would enable everyone in this Assembly to better represent their people that sent them here, and I'm going to keep pushing for those reforms. I'm going to keep speaking out against the kill list, where every bill that has a Republican sponsor is killed. Nobody wants to talk about it. Most of the members are very friendly here. Members of the majority they're friendly and they're nice people, but almost every one of them, maybe every single one of them, goes along with this idea that a Republican bill is never going to see the light of day. It's never going to get out of committee simply because a Republican came up with the idea. That's hyper-partisan. It's not good for the people of New York. Good ideas are not necessarily party-driven. Democrats have good ideas. Republicans have good ideas. Liberals have good ideas occasionally, because occasionally they do. I'm for some of these bail reform ideas, which I would say are liberal ideas. Conservatives certainly have good ideas, and those good ideas should at a minimum get an up or down vote in the chamber behind us. We call ourselves the People's House. Let's go push forward these two reforms and truly be the People's House and represent all the people of New York State.